Hi, Mike. Just to say, everyone, I've had quite a few people coming on today, so I'm just going to just give it about a couple of minutes just to see who all comes on, okay? All right. What I'll do is I've obviously some few others are planning maybe to join. I've registered to join, but I'll just let them join in. I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay? Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm just going to run through this, as I said, the part through. Ideally, stick any questions you've got in the Q&A, but as I said, I'm hoping to just have a quick half-hour run through these settings, and then we can go over any queries and questions you have. Ideally, maybe hold them to the end, but I've not muted you all just now. I'll leave you in just now, but if I keep getting too many, I'll maybe mute you to the end. But okay, I'll just join with this. So let's stop sharing this a minute. Let's come at this thing. Sorry. Okay. So if I just share, just a quick thing to share. 2 seconds. Yeah, so if I just quickly just share, can I just check, and can you all see my Clovey one okay? Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So basically, let's start. So the main part of this is basically just to go over how our booking system works and how you operate if you're using it. I'll probably get a bit of a mixture of people on today. Some of you that use the booking system, some of you that don't. So I'm just going to go over all the system just for scratch. But if I just start, basically, a little bit of background on our booking system for those of you that may know or don't know is that a number of years ago, if you came to us looking for basically the booking system, we would have put you on to Club V1 basically, and sorry, we put you onto BRS, and basically we worked with BRS. Basically, they done the booking side, we done our side. Obviously, with COVID, we came up with a little booking system. It's now going about arms and legs now probably a major booking system that we have now. Actually, probably not competing with BRS. It's competing with BRS technically, but we now have an integrated system. Okay, so basically, because of that, all the settings are within Club V1. And basically, if you sit in your settings that you've always had in Club V1, you've got your settings. If you have the booking system, one of the settings you have is hub and casual booking. Okay. If you click on here, basically, this is where you see your booking settings. And I'm just going to go through these quickly. So, overview. First thing, the booking system is that we can handle, you can set up multiple courses. Not we can handle, but you can set up, if you like, multiple courses. Okay. And then you can search what courses enabled and what you want to allow people to book into. And I'll show you can customize that even further on. But you'll see I've got my club, I've got my 9-hole, and it's just some of my clubs. Just an example they've got is some clubs have their swing studios on it now. So basically you can put swing studios on. Some clubs, actually the pros, have their lessons on and allow people to book. So just as I said, you can add as many courses as you like here, just add them through. Okay. Next thing I got is T-sheet settings. So go to settings. Basically, this is basically the settings where you set what you have for each course you've got set up. Okay. So you see here, I'm just going to scroll down through these. Okay. And basically, the basic stuff at the top, 18 holes, 8 to 9. So because I've got a 9, my 9-hole course, I can say I'm allowing them to play 9 or 18 holes. It's a little bit not more complex, but just a little bit more work went through. Swing studio, 8 holes, whatever, doesn't matter so much for swing studios. All these are normal, just your default settings. So basically, when you start, when you're ending, intervals, I've kept mine nice and simple 10, but you'll see here that my swing studio is set as 30 minutes. I've set that as 30 minutes. I'll be honest, most clubs that I've done the swing studio have tend to put that at 60. Just to allow time for them to come on the swing studio and get off the swing studio. They found 30 minutes too tight. But again, you can modify all this. Players per time, nice and simple. Show sunrise, sunset. So I might want to show sunrise, sunset on my main course, but I can turn it off and say I don't want to show it on my swing studio. Doesn't matter so much there. These are all sort of basic settings on here. Probably the more things that you look at customizable with the booking side is these part of things now. First thing to explain is these allow members to join partially booked times and allow members to join by default, these type of things. What this is basically is give you the option is that your member books, and what some clubs will do will allow basically people to join. So if someone's booked just 2 slots and you want to allow the other 2 slots to be available for somebody to book in. So if you've got quite a busy T sheet, you'll probably set that as no, yes. Basically what you're saying is, even though I book 2 times, if there's 2 times spare, other people can join it. And it's the same with the visitors down the bottom as well, how you want to do it. But you do have this option called player preference, which is quite nice if your T sheet can support it, where the member can then choose if he's quite happy for somebody to join them or I'm not happy to join them. I'm probably a good example. I'm taking a friend that's maybe not a good golfer. I maybe don't want anybody joining us. I don't want 2 par golfers coming out with us, 2 scratch golfers coming out with us. I want it just to be just us going out, but other time I might be happy that someone can join us. But again, player preference is I'd say is the best option for a club, but it depends you're through. Another little thing you've got is obviously your back 9. This is when you're coming to 9-hole type of thing, is front 9 playing time, back 9 playing time. as anybody will know, it takes a little bit of experience working on that. But I would say a bit of try and go to try and work out, but you can work on that. Next thing on the settings, just going through the settings, is minutes between bookings. Excuse me. Minutes between bookings. Now, just to explain what this is in the T-sheet settings. Basically, if I book, you can set how long before I can book another tea time. So again, given customization for clubs how they want to operate, some clubs might allow me to book around in the morning, might allow me to book around in the afternoon. Again, it's up to you and how busy your T-sheet is and how you want to do it. But I do have some clubs that will set that to basically 500 odd minutes. And basically what they will say basically is, yeah, as a member, I can book a round, one round in the morning if I like, but I can't book another round on that same day. Don't get me wrong, I could contact the pro shop or contact the office and they can book me in, but it does allow you, again, it's just because of each club's got its different demands on its through. Okay. Casual bookings is, as you know, a big part of the Club V1 and our booking system is integration with competitions. This allows you, if you wish, to allow bookings in between your competitions. I've got one club that allows every 4 tea on a medal Saturday as a casual booking. Don't advise it, but you can do it if you want. But this other little section here is basically, again, is back to controlling your members' booking. Is member of future bookings per member. I've got no limit set in mind because I'm using my testing through, but you might want to restrict that your members can only book 4 or 5 bookings in advance. They can't book 2. Let's be honest, we all know what some members are like, where they might book 20 times knowing they're only going to use 5 of them. So you might restrict that. They can only have a maximum of 5. 5 probably quite common. 5. And simply what it does, when I play my first one out of that 5, I then can book another one, so I can go on 5. So it's through. And the other little bit to show regarding members and probably visitors as well is this members booking tea time limit. What this is basically is that when someone's booking, that time gets locked. So basically, when you're booking your slot, booking, especially booking friends, whatever. So if I'm booking 10 o'clock, while I'm booking, that is locked. Now, what this is set, my system set is to give me 5 minutes, basically, to complete that booking. So that booking will stay locked for 5 minutes. Now, normally extend it a little bit for visitors because they might not know the system, give them a little bit longer. But just where you normally want, you don't have this too long and cut this down. Some clubs have got it as 3, whatever. Just so you know with that, if you get that set, if I started my booking and then cancelled it for some reason or just basically didn't bother doing it anymore, that time, even though I've come out of the system as a member or as a visitor, will still, that 10 o'clock slot will still say locked, not allowing anybody to book it for that 5 minutes. So you want that down as little as possible. To be honest, I would say it takes you 3 minutes to a booking, 5 reasonable, but just to let you know though, that's where some clubs initially got cut out a little bit with that, where they had it set like 15 minutes. And what happened was, you do get, say you've got 3 guys trying to book in a time, one of them gets in and gets the time, and the other 2 don't, but they just come out of the booking system. It does lock that time, so it's just to let you know, keep an eye on that. And those of you that have had the booking system before are looking at now, we did do this little update a few months ago. Basically what this allows you to do is, as you know, when someone's booking and booking a guest, they have the option called quick fill, where they can just put basically just a guest, just a default guest. You can take that off and make it that they have to actually put in a physical name and email address of their guests. Now, they can still put in Mickey Mouse, Joe Blogs, at whatever as a fake address. Most members aren't that clever, and to be honest, still do actually put the actual details in. But I'll show you a little bit in the reporting later where it can encourage, you can get then a lot of report of how many times they brought the same guest. It's really up to you how you want to operate that. Some people do find it a bit frustrating if you've got to pin your email address and emails of all your guests, but it's up to you as a club how you want to do it. We've added in start points. Not a big thing I find up north but down south, where you can have multiple start points. If you wish to have different start points where people can play, you can set all that stuff through. And this is probably a little bit more where you're doing a little bit of thought about your booking system is how many days in advance you want to allow them to book. And basic visitors can book advance, so you might want to give your members 50 days, visitors 10, whatever. Again, all total controllable by yourself. Okay. Again, we've added a little part where they can actually book guests as well. And a little update on it as well is just to let this part is we've added a customized part in it where you can put days in advance. So part of obviously the Club V1 booking, because it links with the Club V1 membership site, I can actually select different of my Club V1 categories and actually put certain days on for certain categories. So you see here, I've got my full member can book 30 days in advance. My 5-day member can only book 10. Basically, when you're trying to bring in, especially I would say clubs trying to bring in 5-day memberships or special membership categories, the full members might be a bit annoyed that you're giving these through. So sometimes it's quite handy to put restrictions on them, so they've got them through. So as I said, and again, I can set when available, all controllable. So that's basically the first part of the setting is just your settings. All your people are in a booking system. This is all your booking system. It takes a lot through. Okay. Next part I want to just show you is tea time generation. Now clubs will say, why do we have to generate tea times? Basically, and basically what this simply does is on what you've set in your settings for your interval, it will generate tea times, and you set the date or whatever you want to do. Now the reason you want to do this is you might, for example, have busy season for say July to August or whatever. You might want to do your intervals of 7 minutes, 7 and 8 or whatever. Then when you get to winter time, tea time not available. You might want to generate that from October to December. You can go with 10-minute intervals. So basically, that's why you don't just do a blanket. I suggest clubs don't do a blanket generator of tea times for the year at a fixed time. Don't get me wrong, you can, if you do wish, you can delete certain sections at certain times. So if I generated, for example, my October times were 7 minutes as usual, but I want to change them to 10, I could delete October and regenerate it as a different interval. The only thing you can't do though is you will not be able to delete these times if there's a booking in that month or in that period. Which makes sense, you can't do it if there's a booking in there. And you've got this little addition if you wish to use, where on the ultimate system of Club V1, and that's booking system technically, where you can use sunrise and sunset if you want, and when you generate the times, it will basically generate based on your geographic location and what the time and sunset will be. Again, it's not pro setting for you, to be honest. Some of my clubs, if someone wants to go out and play in the dark, they can play in the dark if they like. As long as they pay for it, they're like. Okay. So that's next part of the settings. I'll go back up. Booking is basically the general settings. Again, these are all general settings, but this is where you want. I'd say things are changing a little bit this year. Basically, you have your general settings. Basically, it's just saying you're going to casual booking on the PSI or just booking. But these parts here are probably where clubs are now looking at changing issues here. Basically, most clubs now will do booking on booking. Okay, I get my visitors set as arrival just because I'm testing my thing, and I do have the option of booking and arriving. I would recommend on arrival, really, with facility of and not heavily pushing clear course, but having things through where you can do online refunds. Easier through clear course, obviously, if clear accept, if we've got that system, we can refund direct from booking. But even if you haven't got clear accept, because you can do bank transfers and things through, clubs now will basically take booking visit payments you pay up front. Okay. With the big change this season, remember a lot of clubs is basically the members. And what you'll find is what a lot of clubs are doing now is basically saying that your members pay for their guests up front. I would say that's a change that's happened this summer. You can do booking and arrival. Yep, turn up, pay for my guests, either up front or pay at the pro shop. What I would suggest is rather than having this double option is make a decision on how you want to run it. If you run both, you then give yourself this little situation of you've got a split of how you're operating. Some people paying, some if they paid, not paid. My recommendation would make a club decision on that. And as I said, I would say my big thing I've noticed this year is a lot of clubs are making people pay for guests on upfront for it. it's to stop you. Unfortunately, it's to stop members who are abusing the system who book 3 fake guests just to red time. I was at a club where 4 members had booked basically 4 slots, so they kept 12 basically spare slots just because their pals might turn up on a Saturday, depending on the weather. And that club green fee is 120 quid, so it's a lot of money to lose. Basic reply, if you wish, it's just a reply that goes out. So those of you that are fortunate, maybe like Royal Troon, that have a bookings manager, you might want that the address, if they've got any query on booking, goes to the person. This little addition on those of you, again, I know some of you haven't had using a booking system and some of us haven't, but these are some of the things added in that you can actually add now, allow the facility where when someone's booking online, they can actually add in a note. So if I'm booking, for example, I'm booking to come and play a 4-ball, even a 4-ball, I had a little note and say, can I borrow a nearest to pin flag for the day or whatever? Anything I can put on, I would like you guys to know when I'm coming. They can put that through, so your lead booker can add stuff onto that. Okay. Also, EPOS card payment, those of you with the till systems, you can link to the till systems that your members, when they book, the fees they incur will come off the, basically any guest fees or anything will come off their EPOS balance cards. Okay. And you can search what purse you want to have it coming off. You see, I've got Flexi member. Anybody who's interested in that, we can just contact me, go over a little bit of that. That's where some clubs use where they want to have a Flexi member membership. And basically, when someone books, they can set that there'll be a deduction of their Flexi member purse points, basically, when they book and have to top up. So it's good, you can do a Flexi member on it. Refund. Quite simple, you can control when the refund or not. As I said, you can do a manual refund, quite easy to do on it, but you can do it. And again, prevent overbonds is probably stuff as well, so it's not through, do you know what I mean? So you can stop them, as I said, no money, they can't book. Okay, club notifications. Again, this is if someone books, you get a notification. What I would say is basically just set it if you want visitors rather than both. You don't really want a note, an email sent to you every time a visitor books, a member books. It's better just visitor. You might want it for visitors. It's quite handy for visitors, you get through. Yeah. And so the final part of this, I said, basic settings, is this all is your terms and conditions. So basically, this is where you put your stuff in, how you want to operate. If you don't have that in a booking system, you know, through, just drop me a little email. I can send you what some clubs have as a starting point. I'll always find that it's clubs, if I give them a sort of template for this, they can then modify themselves. Whereas if they're presented just with a big blank white box, they're not sure where to start. So it's quite handy to take. Each club's got their own, but it's quite handy to give me some through. Okay. So basically, that's how the operating system works. But this is probably the main thing. Moving on to the next section. Again, I'm all in the same section, not right in that section. There's this part here. We've got the green fee rates. Green fee rates, basically, this is where the club basically set what rates they wish to have, and you can add in as many rates as you like here, and you can put all the rates through. So basically, you control what your rates are when you want to change them. And I'll show you in a little bit further how they kick in a little bit, but you could change, if I want to do my visitor weekday, I just go there and change the price to £2 whatever. Okay, so it's not rocket science how you change it. Player type visitors, a visitor, member, guest, all these things through. And you'll see here I've got a little bit of, as I said, you control all the rates. We don't unfortunately have what some booking systems have, like a dynamic pricing system that can actually do dynamic pricing and change your prices depending on demand and all that. I don't think BRS have that, but I know there's a couple of systems do that. But the other side of the coin is we don't have like Golf Now or BRS algorithms. We don't have anything basically not putting the pricing up, basically putting the pricing down and doing weird offers and things through. We don't do that either. You control it all, do through. The other thing that's been added in as well is we've got booking categories. And again, this is probably back to where I was saying that certain clubs will give certain memberships. So you might find that as a 5-day member, I might pay £15 for my guest. As a full member, I pay 10. All customizable what you charge for each category. So we do have that in there, what you can set it through. Do you know what I mean? The other thing, again, those of you that had booking system, probably saw a lot of stuff being added in here that we've been asked for. Alternate rates. You can set alternate rates. So there I've got a reciprocal rate for the visitor. What I would say, that's fine. So when I book, as a visitor, I would have the option of selecting that I want the reciprocal rate. Similar, if I've got a junior guest, I might say I've got a junior guest rather than a guest. Totally works fine. All I would say to clubs is you have to police that. So obviously, if someone books a reciprocal rate, you have to make sure you're checking they're valid to get that rate. A junior guest rate, make sure it's a junior, it's not an adult. We can't police that for you, basically. But you know what's going to happen if you offer a junior guest rate. The visitor's going to pick that all the time. Members are going to pick that all the time and bring everybody's a junior guest rather than a guest. What I tend to find is most clubs would operate, they wouldn't offer the junior guest rate. They would offer just basically a fixed guest rate, but if you bring a junior, the member can ask for a refund and that can be processed, paid back to the simple put back on. Ideal scenario for that is you put it back onto the bar card, so they spend it in the club, or you can refund it. It's up to you to do it. But again, it's just it is in there for clubs to use, and that's also where you can set different rates for categories as well. This little par rate at the bottom, just to explain that each club come up with a solution we go through. That's where one of the clubs they've brought in a special membership where even though you're a member, you get charged £1 for every time you book a casual round of golf. So where members normally don't pay anything, these par category members, they have agreed to pay £1. That £1 goes into a draw, and at the end of the week they do a draw, and it's like a raffle, and they win a prize. So basically every time they book, so the more rounds you book, the more pound entries you've got into the draw, the more you can chance. But just to say, it's amazing what the things we have to come up with for different clubs. Okay, and as I said, to add in a rate, just click there and put the rate in you want to put in. Okay. Obviously, when you've got all your rates, you basically have to set when these rates apply. And I know this looks quite daunting, all the different rates you've got. Fortunately, you only do it once. And then we edit these rates, visitor weekday, you can then total control, you can decide what those rates, when they apply. So basically I've got here, that's my Monday to Friday rate is going to apply to that date. Now some clubs will have a winter visitor weekday, some visitor weekend that will apply from further on. What I tend to say is maybe similar, easier, is just to have a visitor weekday and just go back to where I was earlier and just modify the rate. So if you get to, so just have that rate apply all year. But when it gets to a different period, say October, I just go and change the rate and put the rate down rather than having many rates and more rules. And again, you customize all these rules to go through. Just click what rate you're going to charge. So basically, it's what course it is and what rate you're going to charge and when's it going to be charged. Nothing more rocket science than that. You can do it by date, do it by time. So you just go in there and set what you want to do. Obviously, it does take a bit of setting these things up, but you can get into it. Okay. Obviously, another major part of the booking system is services. Okay. Basically, this is services that your buggy hire, your trolley hire, basic services. Okay. And as I said, this little bit at the top is probably added into through just the first line here is you probably maybe been updated that we have started adding in the feature where members can book services in competitions and with casual booking. Still a bit controversial, buggies, etc. in competition, but it has been added in there. And clubs that want information on that and charging and competitions, just give me a shout and I'll go over that because that's probably a separate issue around basic services. But just to let you know on that, basically, if you take 2 buggies out for a competition, it takes it out of your sort of limit here quantity. But basically, what you've got is you've got your services here, and basically you've got your buggy hire, your trolley hire, whatever you want to add in here. You can add in the services. It's just whatever services you're going to be available. So it's club hire, whatever you want to add in. And I always showed some weak ideas that some clubs have come up with quite good. This meal round after required. This was actually brought in at D-side during the winter there, where they basically said anyone who was booking to go out after 3 o'clock could please tick if they wish to have a meal after round, which therefore their caterer who's got access to the system could then look at that and actually see that the last 4 ball that went out at 4 o'clock want to come in for a meal after, so basically it has to be available. or if they didn't, they didn't. So they put it out to members, visitors as well, but it just basically had a little message on the T-sheet, and I'll show you that, you can put that on, but basically said that, and I thought that was quite a clever idea for them to basically say that their caterer could look at that, and again, just so you know, in Club V1 you can have the caterer access to just see the booking sheet only, they can't see anything else, you can see the diary, but it was a handy wee tip that they put in, but as I said, you can put in what you want the services there, okay, through. Service rates is basically what you're charging, basically. Your member, visitor, what you're charging for those rates. Nothing more complex than that. So, okay, if you are a 9-hole course, you can set or 19 what you want. As I said, you can serve through. And basically back to the same thing as I did with the T-sheet, service rules. This is basically the rules. So if I want, I can set up different rates. So my weekend trolley hire is more expensive than my Monday to Friday trolley hire. And all you simply do is go in, edit it, and basically again, same as a booking. So it's quite easy to work with. You set the start date, end date, when the start time, end time is going to go through. Okay. So again, all this is all to do with services and setting up your. Okay. Basically, that's just set up through. So that option you've got in your system with your booking sheet here is T-sheet reservations, and I'm just going to throw all these through. Basically, reservations. This is basically if you want to reserve certain times on the T-sheet for certain things. Okay, so again, we're a working club, so I know it's less and less now, but some clubs used to have reservations for ladies in the morning or reservations for a 2 sweep or something. You can put a reservation that blocks off that time, and you just edit that, change, and put the time it's going to be available. And you'll see I put a little message in here. And this one I'm just showing you is one of my clubs that were just asking. This will probably horrify a lot of people out there, but they wanted to go back to ball and a shoot for a certain period of time. And what basically they wanted to do was have on a Monday between 4 and 5, this is my test system, the time they set up, that they would have basically that there's no booking, it's reserved for a ball and a shoot. And you just take in this little message just saying something had your ball and a shoot. So you can put reservations in for that through. Now, and this little additional thing in here as well, you'll see at the bottom here I've got this allow members to book. This is probably more to explain this where you might use this is say you have a corporate reserved time. Okay, one of my clubs have like a doctor's thing with the doctor blocked off, and it's reserved for a company or reserved for a company that basically 10 to 11 on a Tuesday morning is blocked off, which means no visitors can book. It's only for that those people in there, but they do allow members can still book into that time if they want. So they're quite happy, even though it's blocked off for them. They're quite happy the members, but they don't want visitors. So again, that's optional if you want to do it. As I said, we had clubs ask us for things all the time. Okay. Back to booking. So that's the reservations. Again, you put in and modify as you like. Obviously, I'm not call up some of my clubs. It's unbelievable the reservations they've got in there for 2s and seniors and suites, whatever. But T-sheet restrictions are probably similar to reservations, but this is a bit more controlling. And what this basically is that you set what restrictions you have on the T-sheet. So if I edit this thing through, just edit it. I can edit what I do. And again, you can put in what you like. Basically, you can restrict this, and you can say basically you can hide the slots enabled or through. So clearly, where to explain where you'd maybe use this is. This is maybe where you don't want visitors, say Saturday to Sunday. You might not want, so my club, we don't allow visitor booking till after 3 o'clock on a Saturday. You can put these restrictions in. So you can put rules in and say only restrictions at certain times. Some clubs might say don't allow members, guests, certain day, I can have that restriction. So basically, this is where you can restrict what restrictions on the T-sheet are. So again, rolling back to my Monday, Friday membership and my full membership, I would then basically add a restriction there saying that Monday to Friday people can't book in Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and they will just charge. And don't get me wrong, I could give them a slightly discounted green fee rate, but just say it is there to do it on. So as I said, you can do stuff on that and edit it. Okay, yeah, okay. And as I said, to add new restrictions, you just click on restrictions, put them through. Okay, as I said, you can put what you got, category. And we've also got the option here as well, where you've got play mode golf, where we can actually work with play mode golf and things and restrict things certain for those times through. And that's where we've got restrictions through. And that's probably part of the thing where you're allowed through. But We've got, as I said, we do still probably don't work with Claymore Golf and that as much as we used to, but we do still have integration with them and with their systems, which we can set up the booking. Okay, that's through. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, restrictions, getting to the end of the sort of setting stuff, going through. And the quite simple things that clubs tend to miss though is these parts, messages. Basically what this does is you can then put a message on the tee sheet that will come up when the tee sheet, okay? So basically I've said, I'm going to change this every day because it's through, okay. Okay. Basically, what you can do is set messages up, and when certain people go into the tee sheet, this where they will see a little message at the top of the tee sheet. And this is where I was mentioning, rolling back again to earlier on where I said where that little, the club saying, if you wish to book a meal, please click on the services button. I could put that as a message. It'll pop up on the tee sheet after 3 o'clock each day in the winter time, say basically. And what they'll see is they'll see at the top of it, if you wish a meal, please add it to your services. So as I said, I could put it through, or as I said, confirm arrive at the pro shop could be certain days. So if your pro shop shuts, I could set basically that if you come after 4 o'clock, please confirm your arrival at the bar. So it's handy to use these things through. Okay. The other part in here as well to look at is to use a little bit is booking types. Now we do identify basically if it's a member, visitor, guest booking, but just to let you know, and we've added in a little bit, and this is where I'm going over some things that clubs might know, some clubs have added in, that we have now added the if, and I get set through, if you know, we have added the option that when a member is booking, they can say it's a competition they're playing in, it's a tie they're playing in, and it will be marked as that. So it's quite handy. If I'm playing in a tie with someone, I can mark it's a tie. That lets other members know that I'm playing you in a tie. That's why we're out in a two ball. Stops them complaining why they get it to themselves, and also does let the people know to let them through. Same if it's competitions, roll-ups, knockouts, match play. These are all identified. But what these other bits at the top, just to let you know, you can use is that you can add in your own custom booking type. So if you, for example, it's more the back office going to use this. So a good example, so I put this example here. I might have a deal with Australia Jersey, which is a travel agent in Jersey, that if they give me bookings, when they phone me and I put that booking in, now we don't have third-party access for them to book themselves, but if they phone the office and I book them in, I can put a little tag on that booking to say that came from Australia Jersey. It's then coloured, whatever I want to set up the colour, so I can go and edit this and change the colour one to whatever, do you know what I mean? And I can enable how they do whatever. But what that does do is allows me, I can then pull off a report and say basically, so say I've got a deal with Australia Jersey saying that I will give you 10% of whatever bookings you give me at the end of each month. I could then pull off a report of identify that bookings that have came from that booking type, and then it allows me basically to track that and do things through. It might even not be payment side, it might just be how you're actually getting through. So basically that's a quick overview, and I know I'm just going through that of the system, how you set things up. What I just wanted to show how these things all set up, basically, for those of you who have seen it, don't see it, basically, how the works with the members, how it actually shows up in the system. So basically, let's look at members booking. So members booking, basically, members normally encouraged to book in through the Club V1 app. Okay, you can do it from how to do it, I'll do it from the app. Give it further good opportunity for just to explain you may be heard or not heard. We do have a new app coming out. I think it'll be mid-September, end of September now. Basically, currently we have two apps. So if I click on booking here and go to competition booking, we see it takes me to how do I do. So basically, we've got the Club V1 app and we have the how do I do app. Now the how do I do app was designed long before Club V1 was even thought of. So when we brought the Club V1 app, we actually had to link back to how do I do. So technically we are running two apps. In the new app, these are both coming together into one app to make things a lot easier and taking this linking about. So it will make this a lot more seamless, the link between the two of them. So it'll just be one app, basically. I think rather than Club V1 app, it'll be called How Do I Do because that's a bigger brand name, but it'll be just one app for members to use and it's not massively changed, but back to booking. So basically though, what the members booking, the members can go to the How Do I Do and book from here, or as I said, within the app, the book. and the book through. So basically they've got the book there. Now, if I go back to competitions, golf fixtures, let's just add a competition, test, booking, okay, let's put it for Thursday, continue. So I'm going to quickly just put the booking side of it, continue, going to go off my course, continue. I'm going to enable start sheet now. If I enable start sheet, just put that date, okay, let's just put it for like 12 till 2. Continue. Okay. Now enable booking. So you can enable booking. I'm just going to so I can basically what I'm saying here is we can book in the PSI. How do I do it? Okay. And as you know, we can do zone draws in our system as well. So we can. You have the option as if you wish, rather than having times, you could set up zone draws for people to book into, and then do the draw later. So when the members book, they can book into a zone draw if you wish, and then do a draw. Again, not controversial. I quite like zone draws once a month at clubs to get new members, but just to say we can do that, but I'll just bypass that. Okay. And competition, I don't want to get into competition service at the moment, but basically it just allows a buggy in the competition. But again, if anybody wants more query on that, I can through. Let's just go back to that. I just want to show the booking side here. So basically, okay. So what you find is there's that competition I have just set up. Now, what that does, just so you know, 31st of July, if I go back here and in my back office to show you how the T-sheet looks, in my golf T-sheet, there's my T-sheet, my basic booking T-sheet. But what you'll find now when I go to the 31st of 31st, okay. There's my competition blocked off in the T-sheet. So it does it automatically. When you create the competition with booking, it blocks it off in the T-sheet. So everybody can see that it's blocked off. Probably good. One of my clubs have 262 medals last year. So imagine them doing that and then copying that in the BRS. But anyway, it just goes through. But what happens then, from the member's point of view, the member then sees it to book. And simply all they have the option to do is click, book the T-sheet for that competition. Okay, there's a competition available, and that's booking. Now you see it starts. It's just a competition showing here. If I click book, that books me into the competition. Okay. Now, if I set the competition up to allow me to book my friends, whatever, I could do all this part here. If I set up services, I would get charged for a buggy, whatever, I could do that here. But just to say that's booked. But that's me booking. So that's your members. Just shows you how the members booking looks at. I go back to T-sheet. So it's nice and easy competition booking on that. If as a member, I want to just go to book a time. Okay. I basically just click on the day, let's say 16th. Okay. Okay. There's the time. You'll see that's restricted because I blocked them off. I've got a restriction on there, and that's where I mentioned about my restrictions. I've got restrictions saying basically that's not available. But I want to book 8:30. Click on book. Okay. Basically, I can add a member. Okay. So I'll put member. I can add a guest. Okay. Now this is the part why I just wanted to show you a bit rolling back where we're talking about settings. This is where I can click use default and it just puts guest. Okay. If when I showed you the setting I'd taken that option off, I would have to put in a name and an email address here. It wouldn't allow me to add the guest without it. But I'll just nice and remember here. And rolling back again, this is where we follow on the settings. If you remember, I mentioned the option where you can allow the member to choose that someone can allow or not allow. I'm going to say I don't want anybody join us, so I can block it off. Okay. Again, you can take that off. And again, that's what I wanted to do. This rolling back to the settings bar while it's still fresh in mind. That's where I said, can I have just the pin out pin? Okay, whatever you want to pin. So me booking this can let the person, whoever looking at booking pro or whoever looking at booking any specific I've got, and when I confirm and pay, basically, it'll prompt me to pay. And I've set to pay. Basically, because I've not got this set up to pay off an e-post card, I'm set basically as a member. I just have to pay my guest pay for my buggy by my debit card or credit card. So that'll put you able to do it. Again, I just want to show that there is where a lot of clubs will do that. Basically, set the guest fees and things are paid by debit card. It's quickly accept rather than actually having it through members card. Just keep it all nice and simple how your bookings are paid. Okay, so that's competition booking. Okay, so that's members now. Obviously, big thing, obviously, booking system is how the visitor booking looks like. So basically, how the visitor booking looks like is I'll go. Let's one of Greenburns Golf Club, their website. basically, all you have from the website is a link to the booking system. And when they click on that to book, basically they've done it quite clever. But now let's look at visitors. When your visitors book, they get presented with the cheat sheet with the times. Now, what I would say regarding booking systems, I tend to encourage clubs more and more to now try and get visitors to use the website direct booking rather than booking through the pro shop. I know it's a service thing and a service level, but if it's a 4-ball, especially 4-balls, what you tend to find is they phone the pro, book a 4-ball, the pro has to check that time's available. It's not, they then have to go and check with other 3 pals, is 11:15 suitable, 11:30 suitable. And before you know it, the pro's involved in a 20-minute, half-an-hour booking session to get somebody booked and take their payment. So I tend to say clubs use the visitor booking part now. Okay. It's up to you those who do it. And I'll show you the group booking side in a little minute through. But basically, that's your visitor's tee sheet. Now they can change the course. So you see, I've got my trackman, or this, I don't want to book. They've Greenburn, I've got their trackman on that. That's their training session. But if I want to book, just click on book and book. Okay, and it'll ask me put in the details. Basically, add my playing partner. Okay, and like, as I said, I've probably gone into my own system a little bit as well. I've got a little through my visitor booking again from my website, so I don't book into Greenburns. You'll see basically when I book, there's my book. Okay, book my name and playing partner there, and again I can use default if I wish. My services, I've got my services. There's my meal after round things through there. Okay, so as I said, that's all things there that you've got through. You can control. Okay, booking notes, same as the visitors example, same as the members, exact same stuff through. Now, probably the other part of the, just so you booking, so you know what it looks like, is regarding opens. And if you've got your opens, now if you set an open up in Club V1, like you did for that booking system, you've set up the competition and open, it will block off that time in your tee sheet. And obviously the big advantage is if someone then books into your open from Club V1, their CDH number, their email address are all in the system on the day of the competition when they turn up. You're not having to basically backtrack and manually add that in. Okay. Then simply what you have is an option of visitors, open competition booking. You can have a link basically. If I look at my card and open, yep. You see basically it just presents the opens that you have available, and I can look at the open and view my competition. Okay. And you'll see I'm already booked into that. So I've already booked in through. So as I said, clubs opens. A lot of thing in opens as well, just so you know. Opens with your booking system, just so you know. A lot of clubs have missed this part where we actually have a facility in How Do I Do Now, where you can actually search for opens in a specific area that are using the system. Okay, so Luck Club, of course, it opens up north in Aberdeen, but you can see opens. So when you create your open in Club V1 on the booking, it automatically appears in there. We'll probably promote that a little bit more. I think we don't promote that enough that you can search for opens on that. It's probably like Golf Empire type of thing, but just to say it goes straight on there. But one thing just so you understand with the open side though is if I go to the opens, let's back to my system. When I'm starting to log out, shut the Greenburns as well. Okay. Okay. If I log out of my passport, okay, and go to visitor booking, okay, and go to opens, okay, I'm going to log in my system, okay. What you'll find is when a person goes into your opens, sorry, screen back through it. I don't want to log in. I just want to get my password is in. Page, sorry. Visitors open. I want to sign out of this actually. It's probably his memory through. What you'll find is it will prompt the member to basically say that they are check that they are a member. And what it will do is basically say to you, if you're a member, okay, that if you're a member, log in and book in through the app rather than from direct link, the open link. Okay. The reason is that basically you'll see here it says, so you'll see here it says basically, John, are you a member of Cardinal Golf Club? If you are, click here to log in. Now you may think this is, it's just explained booking. You may think this is they would know this, but it's just if you have a different price for your visitor and your members, it's just so we're reminding them, saying, do you know what, don't just book from here, log into your app and do it from there. I do it direct from your, how do I do it? But if you're not a member, obviously you just book as normal, do you know what I mean? Instead through, do you know what I mean? So just book as normal and you book through. So it's just to say that's there. Okay. So I said we'll just emphasize that with opens. Probably the final part of the booking system is to just close some of the stuff down. Is obviously when you've set up all your booking and we discussed all your prices and all your things through, but probably where clubs a little bit through is go to basically society bookings. Okay. And let's say I get a society booking, put up the booking for next Friday. Okay. What I simply do is select and say, right, they want these. They want to go at 7 o'clock, I'll make it nice and easy. They want those 4 times. Okay. Select that and say add a group booking and say it's there. I'm going to I'll always go with Rotary Club. Rotary Club tend to book a lot. And I can actually, if I want, if it's a member, I can pick their details up. Okay. Obviously, if it's not a member, I would have to put in a name, a contact number, name, address. We need that for one person. Okay. Then simply add, and because I've set up all my rates, okay, I can say basically there's all my rates I get set up in the system. Okay. So now, a little update, those of you that have used the booking system in the past, we'll now see that we've done a little update where you actually physically can see everything that's available. Okay. Obviously, if that's what I'm saying, don't have too many of these to go through, but it shows you what's available for that time. Okay. But let's say this is visitor weekday. Okay. I'm going to have charged, and I'm going to have 12 of them. Okay. Okay. That's it. Right. Okay. So that's where we can sit, and that's where a wee bit of an update was. We'll put these things in so you can see all the prices available for that day. Okay. So me some services. The what buggy again. This is why you have to do a little bit of background work on what you set up. We're going to put trolley hire, so I'm going to put buggy hire. Yep, they want one buggy. Okay, and it will go and check the buggies available. If it is, it'll add it in. Okay. You'll see that I've got my meal before round as well, and anything through. So when you get in the background and set your services up, best bet is to try and get as much services set up in the background that you think you're going to need, so they're there. Okay. Catering. Now this is slightly different for those of you that have our till system, slightly different between the old system and the new upgraded cloud-based system. When you get this, and if you've got the old till system, when you click here, you'll get presented with all the old PLU and revenue streams that you click on what you do. Clubs did say to us that they'd rather just have the option like they have in BRS, where they can actually just click, tick in what they want. So basically bacon rolls, you can type in here what you like, bacon rolls and cheese. Mine's a memory, but you can type in what you like. Okay. Obviously my system tends to remember the last thing through, and they want 12 of those. Okay. I'm going to charge £1 for them. So you can add those items in. So just go through. A little bit as well, background, and it's probably not so much on the booking side, but maybe anybody want a little background on how to do this. It's in our setting in Club V1. Not so much restricted to just the booking side. You can input drink details, food details, additional requirements. And this is back to what I'm saying about clubs are now looking at giving their caterers, bar managers access to Club V1 this side only. They can't change anything, but they can at least view everything. So they can actually see what that party required drinks, what the food details, any additional requirements are in there. But also this little bit though, on the settings, is they can add a facility where you can actually add in, and it's not part of the booking settings, it's part of Club V1 settings, but I can help you set this up, where you might want to split your club into meeting room, lounge. So say, for example, the Rotary want to use the lounge and they want to use it from a certain time on that day for a certain thing to do their prize giving. I can check it's available. I can reserve that off. Okay, and book through. So it's handy with facilities on there as well. So it's just through. Okay. And I'll skip this payment bit slightly, go back through. You can also, as I said, add in any notes you wish to through. I know we mentioned earlier about the lead booker putting in these notes when they book, but this is you back office booking, anything you wish to put in for your booking through. And so the final part on that is obviously payments. It's payments where I can add the payment, and this is where I can add the payment, and I can take, as I said, if it's joint card and I paid it, okay, paid it through, whatever. I can add the payment through how I want to add the payment. But probably where you'll probably use that more often rather than doing a member payment is this is a visitor payment. So I believe that joint. As I can just add a payment to say it's not a member payment, it's just a cash payment debit through. Okay. You can have the option where I could add the payment and I can put a deposit. Sorry, when I click on that payment, come back here. I could say just take, I'm only going to pay what you're going to pay me, £10 or whatever. Okay. By cash or have taken it. Okay, cash, whatever. Okay. that if you wish, you in the settings of your booking, I probably skipped that bit where you can allow the option to, it's not so much in bookings, but it's in your payment side where we can set it up. You can allow deposits or no deposits. But one wee thing though, just in here while we're in here, what you can do as well is you can send an email. So what happens is they'll get an email link to pay. And if they click on that, pay, it opens up and how they do. But a little thing in here that's quite handy though as well is just so you know, those of you that have Clear Accept, is I can click on this Clear Accept motto. And what this does allow me, say I'm taking this guy's deposit of £10. I'll just put in my name. It doesn't have to be anybody's name. What this basically does is allow me within Club V1 to take the card number, expiry date, CV, last 3 digits, and actually process the payment in Club V1. I don't have to use a separate terminal and then go back and update it. I can do it within Club V1. It's just a little handy feature that Club don't realise. Same way if I was phoning you up to take your final payment, I can take it here or send an email link. So just to say that's part there as well, Jimmy. So obviously that's part of how the booking looks and how the booking operates, all depending on your settings of it. Obviously the final sort of part on the booking overview is the reporting side of it. And in reports, we have some basic booking reports. And this is where we will add more as more and more clubs using it, but you've got your booking payments, booking revenues, services if you want, what service have been booked for certain times. So I can see who wants a meal, who doesn't. Okay, I can do all that stuff through. There's no services on that day. Set reports here. So we do have added reports, even as I said, booking types there. So as I said, that's where, because usually by type, this is where I can look at the cardinal and show the different things through. Okay, as I said, a lot of reports there. Went through to it. We do obviously have, not have pushing it just so you know it's there though, we do also have another package called Clarity, which actually allows you taking all your data from your club. And if you have, using the booking system, you've set up all your fees on all that in our booking. This is more maybe if you want to have a little look at how your rates are, your performance are. This is where you can actually go in here and you can look at your activity, your course. This takes all the data and sticks it in an analytical tool that allows you basically to your course usage, your hotspots, all the stuff through. Okay, it's £50 a month. It's not what I say. It's not worth it if you're not going to use it, but I think it's quite beneficial. Clubs do like it to look at, well, especially the booking side of actually looking at their spend, green fees, because on top of reporting on your club, just so you know, it does give you comparison for other areas as well. So in your area, what you've got, so you can look at, is your rate high, not high, how you're performing. This is taking all that, basically all the data from other clubs and feeding it in there. But as I said, again, I don't go into too much. Right, so I'll close that down. So basically that's the basic system. So anyone got specific queries or something on it? Yep, are you all right?
Thanks. I think our MS is they've got the mic on. So do you see the area where you can determine whether or not you allow people to join you on a booking? So if you were out with a friend and you didn't want 2 other people to join the booking, can that vary? Can it be single players don't have that option, but 2 players do have the option, or is it just got to be on or off?
Just got to be on or off at the moment. It's got to be basically the club allowing it or not. And just to let you know, while we're on that, because that's what some of clubs have asked me is they want the option to set times for that, specific times for that. So just let you know, that is something we're looking at. That just now it's basically the club have it on as an option or not as an option. Probably the first upgrade that will come with that is you can say that you might have that I can't allow people to join me Monday to Friday, but I need to accept people join me Saturday, Sunday because it's busier. Just now, unfortunately, the person booking has to switch it on or off, but we're looking for a time thing on that. But it can't be set at different levels. Okay.
No, that's great. Thanks. And then the other question was just on, you didn't cover it in much detail, but you could color code different categories of membership. so that they show up in the booking. So one of the things we want to do is not have adults joining juniors, but at the moment you can't tell who's an adult and who's a junior. It's just a name. So do I understand you could actually colour code so it's clear when a junior's made a booking?
You can't colour code. You can't colour code category membership. It's just booking that colour type. It's just different types. You can put category through. What you can restrict that juniors can't book at certain times or can't join. You can apply restrictions on that.
Yeah.
So,
Is there any way of showing that it's a junior who's made a booking?
I don't know if you can. Maybe check. I think it's a booking report by category. Let me check that and drop my little email and I'll check that for you.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Okay. Angie, sorry. Yep. Angie, you there? Sorry, I've just. Angie? Okay. Anyone else got any queries or? Yeah, sorry. I can't hear you, Ryan. Sorry, I'll just say a minute to 6. I'm going to see if we can put you back on. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry.
Hello.
Hi, Ryan. Sorry, yeah, I've got you now. Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually Joe, but it doesn't matter. Further to Larry, Larry and me are training on the system. Further to his question, the ladies, our ladies section on a Saturday play a competition, and previously our match secretary could have the gents competition and then add the ladies competition in as well, where they can go on and book. And they done an update. Club V1 done an update, and this facility disappeared. So now we're having to do it manually.
You should be able to. You used to be able. Well, you used to be able to be if you had a gents competition, a ladies competition on the same day. When you added in the the second competition, it would ask you if you wish to share the existing start sheet, and that's where you put two competitions on the one start sheet.
Right.
That should be still presented. What you do is drop me an email and I'll check it on your system. But yeah, because I thought that was still. I know we did an update, but I thought that was still available. I was sure I was looking at a club a few weeks ago that did that. And what basically, if you say you have a competition on Saturday afternoon from 12 to 4, and then you have a ladies competition on 12 to 4. When you create the ladies competition and you have a start sheet on the same time, it will say, do you wish to share existing start sheet? That then allows both men and ladies to book between 12 and 4. I don't know if that's 100% what you're looking at trying to create there, but if you drop me an email, I can test that on your system and I can give you a call back on that.
Yeah, okay, that's excellent.
Okay.
The other one was so regarding the colour coding.
Yeah.
Is it? Can you categorise the ladies as well? Because we've had ladies who are they're booking the tea, and then gents are joining them when they don't want it. Is the only way to do it is put guest.
No, to be honest, with that option which I showed you, where the if it's a normal booking, you see that option where they can actually just select they don't want anybody to join them.
Yeah.
That would give them the option to do that.
Yeah. So that's the only other way. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'd be easiest way. If the ladies don't want, if two ladies want to go out and want that casual booking time blocked off for them only, that's how they would do it.
Okay. Thanks.
Angie, I got your message. I'm just going through. Sorry, yep. Just Angie, on that question you've just sent over there. Yeah, if you drop me an email, I'll send you how to do it. But, yeah, you can send you can create an email. When you email the invoice out to them, I don't know if I've got that yet, but I know it's coming. So I can. Okay. Sorry about this echo.
Can Mike Smith mute? That's what's causing the echo.
Mike's muted. I think Mike's muted. Yeah. I've got Mike muted as well. So Mike's ready. Mike is muted, so it's not Mike, I think. But that's like better. Yeah. So anyone else? Have we got? No. As I said, this is hopefully just to give a quick overview of the system. And I said, any of you that have specific queries, just drop me a little email and we can go through that. We okay? Thank you.
John, just one quick. Yeah, we. John, just. Yeah, we. John, just. Wait. John, just.
Sorry, I just come back on. Did I just miss somebody to try to catch me?
Yeah, sorry, John, it's Joe again.
Hi, John.
You see the update that's coming out in September?
On the app, yep.
Yeah. How radical is it? If we're training, do we want to be training on this system or do we want to wait for the update?
It's not going to affect the operation of the system. It's more just the members app.
Right.
So it's more the member side. And there'll be some information going out to members on that. It's not massively changed. It just makes it a bit more easier for the members to change it. But from your side, setting things up, no, there's no change to that.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Mike, you want to before I unmute you? Still can't hear you, Mike. I don't know if your mic's working, sorry. Can't hear you, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yep.
So just one thing on that, Joe. If we have the booking system, is there an extra cost on that?
Yes, sorry, I should have mentioned that. So, yeah, sorry. That's one part I was. To be honest, that's one part I missed there. The issue was that, not the issue was, we're trying to do these as little training sessions for people. Yeah, but it's 1,100 quid.
It's 1,100 quid, right? Okay. Fine. It looks good, John.
Yeah, no, it's to be honest, it's going away. We did look down the path of the way that BRS, we taking commission off fees and taking part of your booking fees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't, as I said, most clubs decided they'd rather just have a fixed price rather than the hot deals and things and paying money out. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, that's as I said, that's where we went for the fixed price of it. So I think Punteeland are using this. A few down here, Punteeland. We're side a few on it now. Do you know what I mean? Western Hope, I think.
Can we set it, John, where what I liked about the BRS one, you can have sort of the first three prices are £25, but if a 4 ball books and you get it at a better rate for a 4 ball.
Sorry. If I show you my screen, just to say on that was that. Can you see my screen again, Mike? Yeah.
Can it actually? I started to log out there, John, and
Okay. Well, just to tell you, what basically is when you set up your price rates, you've got a 1 ball, a 2 ball, 3 ball, 4 ball rate.
Oh, you can do it like that.
So basically, if I book and there's 3 of us paying, I pay X, Y, I pay a certain fee. If I book and it's a 4, I book 4 of us, I'll pay a 4 ball rate fee. Right. And the 4 ball rate fee is cheaper.
Fair enough.
That I thought you were meaning some booking systems, and again, BRS do what they call dynamic pricing, and it picks up there's a high demand for that time and upsells the prices. But no, that's what you've mentioned is a lot easier.
Yes, definitely. I wouldn't want to go to the dynamic thing.
Yes, no, better control of it.
But no, it looks fine. I mean, my only biggest concern is if we change over, the members getting used to it, you know.
Yeah,
I can imagine the first week it'd be absolute chaos.
Yeah, it's more. To be honest, what I would say is what a lot of clubs have done is because the members have booked into open. A lot of clubs this year, you'll see a lot of clubs have done their opens through How Do I Do this year more than ever. And you'll probably see that when you go to a lot of clubs now, rather than booking where you used to book in BRS and then sign in Club V1, you'll notice a lot of clubs this year have basically blocked off in BRS and said to book into this system, use that there.
Yes.
Members are not as bad because they're basically used to the Club V1 system, if that makes sense. They're used to booking into their competitions, so it's quite similar. The booking machine's quite similar to that, so it's not a massive. But don't get me wrong, it's you know what members are like, don't like change.
I know. This is the worry of it. I mean, the other thing, I like the opens. I mean, we thought about the opens for this year or next year. Do we still have the £1,100 cost if we just
no? If you just want to do opens, no, you can do that in the current system you've got just now on the premium level.
Right. Okay.
So you don't. No, so it's only if you want to have the full blown visitor booking side, you need that. But the open competitions, yep, you can do it. Use your current system for that. Obviously, the big thing with us with Clear Accept is it's allowing Clear Accept handles all the payments. You can do the refunds through that. We're adding in mass refund option in the open, so that basically, I hate using that word mass refund, but if you want to use it, it's getting added in. And as I said, a lot of clubs did it this year, and that's if you look on, and that's where even if you go into How Do I Do that bit, I showed you where you can actually search for opens.
Yes.
What's maybe an idea is go in there, have a little search in your area within 50 mil, and you'll see the clubs come up, and just even contact them and see how did they get on with it this year. But I'd say the big thing where clubs have used opens a lot more is that because opens are getting so big now. It used to be fine when you had 50 odd entries to an open, it wasn't a big issue. But I had a club St Regulus had 180 ladies in the open last week. Whereas you had to put those details from BRS, copy in all the CDH's email addresses into your Club V1 system. It's all done. They're in.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, because that's what we're having to do now is exactly what you say. Transfer everything from BRS onto V1.
Yeah, so you find that's why the biggest thing why clubs, and so even clubs that are actually looking at, I would say that I've got a lot of clubs, to be honest, that are going to put our booking system, like Moray, Bathgate, they're going to put our booking system in this year, around October, November. Obviously, you want to do it during the winter time, off season.
Yes.
They're doing it then. What they did do is they've ran their opens this year on it to get the members a wee bit familiar with it, and then they're doing that step up. I mean, I'm not saying you might be, terrible to say, about 2026 away or whatever, but it's up to you planning wise and booking. But I think this winter is going to be a big step up on our booking systems, I think.
Yeah. I say we've got the 26 opens on BRS at the moment, but there's very little activity at the moment. It doesn't really start until end of the year.
26 opens?
No, 2026.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant, no, I was going to say, I thought you said 26 opens.
No, definitely not.
But no, it's like, as I said, it's just when I was talking to that club and they turned in 62, what they call medal competitions in the year.
Well, we have an awful lot of medal. We have. There's only one day a week we don't have a competition.
Yeah, and that's where clubs are quite liking that. See, when you clone the competitions, especially now, you can clone them. When you clone them, set the date, it blocks off the T-sheet. That's you done. Do you know what I mean? You're not doing anything. So if I clone your Saturday medal for next Saturday, I don't have to go to BRS and block off the time. It just blocks off the T-sheet. Do you know what I mean? So if you're a handicap guy, and that's why I tend to say to clubs now, put all your fixtures in advance.
Yeah. Well, we do that. We do that.
And it's where clubs have had issues in the past where you've had to remove a competition because of some reason, weather, whatever. You've got to remember when you change it in Club V1, you have to remember to change it in BRS, whereas it's all one system. You don't get that as much.
Yeah, we do. In October, we do all the following year's competitions.
You're too much ahead of the game. All right.
Oh, that's great.
No, but Elizabeth, do you need anything? You okay? No, I can't hear you, Elizabeth. Sorry, but I can't. Sorry, can you? I've 2 seconds. No. Sorry, Elizabeth. Just no. Still muted. I think what you do though, as I said, if Elizabeth, you've got any queries, drop me an email. I can get back to you on that direct. As I said, anybody that's got that, just let me know. Okay.
Okay, John. Thanks. Now.
Guys, bye.
Cheers.